That's the news at 9. First, the highlight. Lagos State Governor swears in 13 new judges. Federal government gets $500 million World Bank loan for power distribution. Advancing Chinese president calls for a peace conference to resolve Israel-Palestine conflict. And in sport, Super Eagles coach invites winger Ibrahim Olaoyin to replace Nathan Teller ahead World Cup qualifiers against South Africa, Benin Republic. Now, the details. I'm Sarah Adesanya. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has sworn in 13 newly appointed judges of the High Court. At the colorful ceremony at the Lagos House, Alausa, Governor Sanwo-Olu urged the judges to reflect the highest standard of impartiality, compassion, ethical standards, and excellence that Lagos is known for.
First time and all the time. We don't have to know you, we just have to see your work. Just have to know that from the crop of the best that we have around is where you've been selected from. And we're truly, truly excited that the judiciary has done their work and they brought you forward as the best that will be joining the very esteemed Lagos State Judiciary Service.
The Chief Judge of Lagos, Kazeem Alugba, commended Governor Sanwo-Olu for understanding the independence of the judiciary and urged families not to put undue pressure on the judges to enable them to discharge their duties without fear or favor. Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Lagos, Lawal Pedro, noted that Sanwo-Olu administration recognizes people's desire for a justice system that works. In a vote of assurance on behalf of Justice Fini Shola Aziz appreciated the National Justice Council for recommending them to the Lagos State government as judges and assured that they would abide by the Constitution, enact laws, and their oaths of office.
Landed brother judges, we promise that we will not disappoint you or the discharge of our duties.
Our correspondent, Adeola Kindele, reports that the 13 judges were chosen out of 300 applicants, which brings to 37 minutes judges appointed under the Sanwo-Olu administration within 5 years. Meanwhile, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has sworn in Mr. Sam Igube as his new Deputy Chief of Staff. Igube, who was the immediate past Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget in the state, replaces late Mr. Akboyega Soyanwo. Speaking at the brief ceremony held at the Executive Chamber at Alausa, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu said the position must not be left void and the best interest of residents.
Sitting we're having in the last 2 weeks or so. We've all had, a lot of bumpy moments, but in all things, all the religious roots that we have, so we should give thanks. Life, they say, about celebration. As believers, especially if you are a real believer, it's also a sin to mourn forever, because what it means is that you have no faith. The position of Deputy Chief of Staff, as we know, is not only strategic, it's actually very critical to all of the things that we do.
Governor Sanwo-Olu urged the newly appointed Deputy Chief of Staff to hit the ground running and bring his wealth of experience, skills, and competency to bear in the journey of taking Lagos to greater height. In his vote of assurance, Igube thanked the governor for his kind consideration with a promise to channel his wealth of experience and professionalism into the realization of THEMES Plus developmental agenda for improved service delivery to residents. Stakeholders have converged in Ikeja to discuss various ways to tackle the menace of drug abuse in the state. The event, organized by the Office of the First Lady of Lagos State, attracted leadership of high institutions, religious leaders, non-governmental organizations, market leaders, youth leaders, local government representatives, delegates from ministries in Lagos State, among others. Wife of the Lagos State Governor, Ibijake Sanwo-Olu, urged well-meaning Nigerians from the corporate sector to join hands with the government in the war against drug abuse, to reach out to the children, youths involved, and bring them out of the street, rehabilitate and empower them with skills so that they can fend for themselves and be useful to their families. She recalled that verified statistics showed that the southwest Nigeria recorded high usage of drugs than other parts of the country, as contained in a report by the National Survey on Drug Use and Health conducted by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime in collaboration with the National Bureau of Statistics, funded by the European Union, in which Lagos, Gombe, and Oyo State have the highest rates in the country. Similarly, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, in a recent report, stated that 40% of Nigerian youth between 18 and 35 were deeply involved in the abuse of drugs.
For all of us that are here, we are ambassadors for war against drug abuse. And so we're using advocacy, we're using school campaign, we're using market campaign. You know, sometimes we're doing the same thing. Each and every of us needs funds to do this thing all the time. I like the idea that someone said there should be maybe drug abuse and trust fund. So we never thought of that.
Representatives of security agencies present at the event, including the Department of State Services, the Police, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, and the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, called for concerned and collaborative effort from the society, parents and guardians, religious leaders, and strategic approach by security agencies in addressing the challenge. Stakeholders at the event were unanimous in agreement by advocating tackling the issue of drug abuse from the source of supply, especially among youths in the country, while the State Ministry of Youth and Social Development has rolled out plans to begin advocacy and sensitization on the danger of drug abuse among youths in the state. Major crackdown on the illegal drug trade in the Federal Capital Territory. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has seized over 107 million naira worth of illicit and dangerous drugs from motor parks and markets across Abuja. In a statement via X, the agency said its investigation and enforcement Federal Task Force Directorate, acting on intelligence from the Department of State Services, DSS, conducted raids targeting drug hawkers at the area, One Motor Park, Dunamis Market Gaki, Zuba Market, Inyanya Motor Park, and Asokoro. During the raid, the team arrested 20 suspects and confiscated over 50 wares of illegal and dangerous drugs, including tramadol, rohypnol, diazepam, aphrodisiacs, codeine syrups. NAFTA added that the arrested individuals are under investigation and all confiscated products will be destroyed. And now to the rest of the stories. The federal government has secured a $500 million World Bank loan to bolster Nigeria's electricity distribution sector. The Bureau of Public Enterprises, BPE, made the announcement saying the loan has been secured to help tackle the many challenges confronting discourse in the country. Its head of public communication, Amina Otam, said key areas of improvement include bulk procurement of customer retail meters and meter data management system, implementation of data aggregation platform, and strengthening governance and transparency with the discourse. The Tripartite Committee meeting on the new minimum wage will reconvene on Friday, May 31, as the federal government has extended an invitation to organized labor for the continuation of negotiations. The letter, which was signed by the Secretary of the Committee, Ekpo Nata, was sent to the President of the Trade Union Congress, TUC, and the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC. The scheduled meeting will be the 7th in the series of meetings by the committee as members try to agree on what should be the new minimum wage. It will be recalled that the last meeting on Tuesday was deadlocked as the organized labour rejected the 60,000 naira offer by the federal government. The Supreme Court has issued a 7-day notice to the 36 state governors to file their defense in the suit brought against them by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi. A 7-man panel of the Apex Court, led by Justice Garba Lawal, issued the order while ruling an application for abridgment of time argued by Fagbemi. Lawal held that the decision of the court was predicated on the national urgency of the suit and non-objection from the Attorney General of the State of the Federation. The court also ordered all state attorneys general that were absent to be present in court on the adjourned dates. And in foreign news, Chinese President Xi Jinping has called for a peace conference aimed at resolving the Israel-Palestine conflict and ending tremendous suffering in Gaza. While addressing Arab leaders at the China-Arab States Cooperation Forum in Beijing, Xi said Israel's war on Gaza should not continue indefinitely and justice should not be absent forever. Xi said China will continue to help with alleviating the humanitarian crisis and post-war rebuilding in Gaza, pledging to provide another 500 million yuan in emergency humanitarian assistance. His remarks come as Israel deepens its offensive on Gaza, seizing the strategic Philadelphia corridor on the border between the enclave and Egypt, while engaging in a renewed push into northern Gaza Strip. Meanwhile, Israel's national security advisor indicated on Wednesday that the war is likely to continue for another 7 months. And in sport, winger Ibrahim Olawoyin has been called up as a replacement for Nathan Tella in Nigeria's squad for the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying fixtures against South Africa and Benin Republic. Head coach Finidi George, in a statement on X, said he extended invitation to Keku Rispor player after Tella pulled out of the squad. Tella, who plays for Bundesliga champions Bayer Leverkusen, excused himself from the upcoming World Cup qualifiers due to family reasons. Olawoyin, who was one of the standout performers for Rizespor in the Turkish Super League in 2023-2024, scored 8 goals in 36 league appearances for Rizespor during the campaign. The Super Eagles will keep updates with the Bafana of South Africa at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium, Uyo, next week Friday, before playing the Squirrels of Benin at the Felix Hofbert Boigi Stadium, Abidjan, 3 days later. Just before we go, speed thrills but kills. Please do not drive beyond the specified speed limit. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X Traffic Radio 961, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch our news and programs live on YouTube at Traffic Radio 961. You can visit our website at trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that Sanwo-Olu administration injected 100 high-medium capacity buses for? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. Turning the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has sworn in 13 new appointed judges of the High Court. The federal government has secured a $500 million World Bank loan to bolster Nigeria's electricity distribution sector. We also told you that Chinese President Xi Jinping has called for a peace conference aimed at resolving the Israel-Palestine conflict and ending tremendous suffering in Gaza. And in sport, winger Ibrahim Olawoyin has been called up as a replacement for Nathan Tella in Nigeria's squad for the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying fixture against South Africa and Benin Republic. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That is the news broadcast compiled by Adewale Olowokoroku. I'm Sarah Adesanya. Thank you for listening and God bless you.